Hello, welcome to Current News. I'm your host, Chris Davis, and today I will be giving you my review of Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, this game is really good. It's one of the best Pokemon games, in the series. When you first start the game gives you an option of either going through the tutorials or skipping them. So, if you are a beginner player and you've never played Pokemon before, you can go through those tutorials, or if you're a more experienced player, you can skip them and you can avoid all the hand holding and stuff. What's really amazing about the Pokemon Sword and Shield game is the visuals. The visuals are amazing. So we have overworld Pokemon, and I guess this is from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Never played those games, but I've seen the reviews. And Pokemon Sword and Shield has overworld Pokemon as well. If you want to go into the hidden grass and find Pokemon, you can. Also, there's Pokemon that are only found through the hidden grass. When you go through the hidden grass, there's an exclamation point, and if you sneak up very slowly, where that exclamation point appeared, you can find that hidden Pokemon. Also, when you're going through routes, sometimes you'll see Pokemon with auras around them. Those Pokemon are guaranteed to have 2 good IVs, and you can get Watts if you catch them or if you beat them. So Watts can be used in the wild area to purchase things. They're a wild area currency. They're different from your Poké Dollars. And if you catch those Pokemon with the auras around them, you can use them for breeding and stuff. But there's other Pokemon that you can use for breeding other than those that you can get relatively easily. Now, with this game, the story starts out with you doing the gym challenge. So when you do the gym challenge, you do different tests first, and then you take on that gym master or that gym leader, and they'll either Dynamax their Pokemon or Gigantamax it. Depends on which gym you're at and what Pokemon the gym leader has. So usually in the earlier gyms, you're just gonna see Dynamax, but when you get to the 3rd gym, that's when you see Gigantamax Pokemon. Now, to get to your first gym, you're gonna have to go through the wild area. And in the wild area, there's overworld Pokemon. You can explore the wild area. Like, you can pretty much go anywhere you want, but you have to be careful because there are Pokemon that are higher level than you, and you won't even be able to catch them. In fact, if you try to face them, they'll one-shot your whole team. So be careful as you're exploring the wild area. Now, when you're in the wild area, you see raid dens. They usually have red beams or purple beams popping out of the ground, and these red beams and purple beams can have large Pokemon inside called Dynamax Pokemon. So Dynamax Pokemon are Pokemon that has their sized enlarged. They're large Pokemon, and their battle ratings are from 1 through 5. So for raid battles 1 through 4, I say you can do alone with the AIs helping you. You really don't need any help. But if you're doing a max raid battle that is rank 5, trust me, you are going to want to turn on your internet and connect and ask for other players to help you, because believe me, if you try to take on a 5-star max raid battle with the AIs, you're gonna lose like every time. You're gonna lose a lot. Trust me, you're going to need other players to help you. Why? Because the AIs helping you in these raid battles, they're not so smart. That's one of the criticisms I have of Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you you say you don't have any internet and you're playing by yourself, then if you try to take on a max raid battle that's 5-star, it's going to be difficult for you to win because the AI is helping you. They're really dumb. They either bring a Pokemon that has a huge disadvantage against the 5-star raid battle, or they choose a Pokemon that's weak. Like I've seen Magikarp, I've seen Eevee, I've seen Togepi, I've seen Clefairy, though Clefairy can sometimes be useful because sometimes it sacrifices itself for follow me. The point is, you don't want to take a 5-star max raid battle with the AIs. If you can, you want to connect to the internet and just call for help, and if it's a 5-star raid battle, you're gonna get some help because 5-star raid battles are those Pokemon. If you catch them, you'll not only get rewards and stuff, but if you catch it, it's guaranteed to have 4 or 5 good IDs. Maybe it's rare, maybe even 6, but really 4 to 5 good IVs, and that's really good, and that's why you're going to have a lot of people help you with those raids because other people want that Pokemon as well, so that's a good thing. But I guess another reason for why Game Freak just made such bad AIs in Pokemon Sword and Shield is I guess they do want you to team up with other people to take on these giant Pokemon. Another thing you see in the wild area is Gigantamax Pokemon. So these Pokemon not only change their size, but their appearance as well. And special Gigantamax moves, and you can catch those too. Sometimes they appear in the purple beam, sometimes they can appear in the red beam. So you want to catch 5-star Pokemon because they're generally going to be more powerful than the ones you just catch out in the grass or in the overworld. Another cool thing you can do in the wild area is you can cook. So you set up camp, and you can do this en route or in the wild area, and you can cook. And you use the main ingredient and you use berries. And there's different kinds of curry you can make, and there's different types of class of curry you can get depending on how well you cooked it. So the highest is Charizard class, and you can also get your friends to help you with the cooking. Now, the story of Pokemon Sword and Shield is good, but to me, I've seen better stories, like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Gold and Silver, 5th generation. Now, don't get me wrong, 5th generation had some weird Pokemon designs, but I thought their story was really good. You really felt that tension, and it was darker and more challenging. With this story, you take on the gym challenge, and then you face Leon to become champion. The reason why the story is good but not the greatest is because the antagonist and the story isn't very well written. Chairman Rose, the one who's over the gym challenge, he's the antagonist of the game. But his reason for being the antagonist is really weak to me. So he causes the Darkest Day, which causes Eternatus to be released because the Galar region of the world will face a energy crisis in 1,000 years. So instead of using his company Macrocosmos to come up with a reasonable solution, he's going to cause the Darkest Day, release Eternatus, and cause all this collateral damage over a threat that's not even imminent. To me, it's a very weak story, and it's not well written. And what makes it even less, what makes the story also not really, or what makes the story not so good, another thing that makes it not so good is that they really walk back every bad thing Chairman Rose did by saying that, oh, he didn't really mean to. He was just trying to solve an energy crisis that's 1,000 years away. So he was intending to do the right thing, but he went about it the wrong way. And to me, that walks back a lot of the bad things like that he did. Now, after you beat the game, there's a post game, so an extra story you can do. Extra 2 hours of gameplay there. The plot there it's okay. It's not like the greatest. I think Gold and Silver's post game was really good. I still think that's the best. This was okay, but it could have been better as well. But what really makes Pokemon Sword and Shield to me one of the best Pokemon games, despite the weak story, is everything you can do in the post game. Yes, the post game, the extra 2 hours you have after you beat the story isn't so good. But what really makes people play this game after they've beaten the post game and stuff is the raid events that Game Freak holds on Pokemon Sword and Shield. So every once in a while, well, very frequently, they've updated this very frequently, you can catch special Pokemon through the raid dens. So raid events that have already passed are like catching Gigantamax Pokemon, catching shiny Pokemon, catching mythical Pokemon. So these different raid events that Game Freak has held through Pokemon Sword and Shield has incentivized players to keep playing the game other than just grinding up for the meta game. Now, speaking of meta game, if you want to get into the Pokemon meta game, it's gotten easier in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I only believe it's easier IV wise, not effort value wise. So IVs are individual values. So as I told you, if you work with other players online, you can catch 5-star Pokemon. They're usually going to have 4 to 5 good IVs. So that makes breeding much faster than starting from all the way from the beginning. Another thing that makes it go a little bit quicker is that you can change your nature with mints. And they've made egg moves easier rather than just breeding your Pokemon over again to have them learn a new egg move. What you can do is you can have a Pokemon of the same species know the egg move, and it cannot be like competitively ready. You put it in the Pokemon daycare with your competitively ready Pokemon, and you make sure with the one that's competitively ready, they have only 3 moves in their move slot, so they can learn the egg move, and that's how you can get the egg move onto that Pokemon without breeding it and starting all the way over. I think what makes Pokemon Sword and Shield tougher though for competitive is the effort value training. To me, it's a lot harder to do in Pokemon Sword and Shield than other games. If you're familiar with this, when you battle Pokemon, they give you certain effort values: attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, HP. It's hard to battle Pokemon that give you those specific effort values because in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they appear on different days. And in previous generations, effort value training was easier. Like in Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, 7th generation, you had SOS battles. So you put on power items, and you battled specific Pokemon that gave you certain effort values, and that's how you would EV train your Pokemon really fast. Or you can leave them all in Pokepelago, and you could EV train them fast that way. Generation 6 was even faster with horde battles. You could find a specific area of Pokemon that would come in hordes. You put a power item on, and then you can get a lot of effort values, and you can do it really fast. To me, EV training is a lot slower in Pokemon Sword and Shield unless you do a time skip on your game. But you have to be careful because you could mess up a raid event if you skip days on your Nintendo Switch. Now, Pokemon Sword and Shield is also coming out with DLC. They've come out with one just now, the Isle of Armor. I'm getting ready to play that. It's just I have to set aside time to do it, and I'll probably live stream it. And if you all just keep your notifications on, you'll all be notified of when I'll do it. But the Crown Tundra is supposed to be coming out later on this year. So on a scale, where do I give Pokemon Sword and Shield? For me, the story, I feel like not everyone who plays Pokemon is going to play competitively. They're really there for that story, and for that, I got to knock it down because there's really not, to me, a really strong antagonist in this game. So I have to knock some points down for that. I also have to knock off some points for the AIs not being so smart, because I've lost a few raid events because the AIs made really dumb moves. Overall, I think this game deserves an 8 out of 10. It deserves the 8 out of 10 because of the amazing visuals and just the overall improvement Game Freak has made to the Pokemon game. It doesn't take as long to grind. It doesn't take as long for your Pokemon to grow as in other games. Like you can it's really easy to level up your Pokemon in this game. Whether in previous games it would take you hours to do that. Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you do the max raid battles, you can get experience candy and a lot of rare candies, and you could level up your Pokemon really fast that way. So those improvements, I greatly appreciate the improvements and the improvements in breeding. So if you already breeded a Pokemon that's competitively ready, you want to teach it an egg move, you don't have to start all the way over. So I really appreciate those games, and I really appreciate Game Freak doing different special events to keep casual people playing this game even after they're done with the story. Other than you're done with the story, okay, let's do competitive. Like, not everyone's into that because competitive is hard, and one of the reasons why it's so difficult is because Game Freak starts everyone off the same, and if you didn't do any IV and EV training, you're going to lose in the meta, because basically when they put you all at the same level, that's what it really comes down to. Okay, so game gets an 8 out of 10. I wish the story would have been a lot better. I wish the antagonist would have been better written, but it still gets this high rating because they're still incentivizing casual players to keep playing this game even after they're done with the story, with the special events and with the DLC that has come out and the other one that is coming out later on this year. So that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Have you played Pokemon Sword and Shield? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked what I had to share, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends. You can follow me on social media. I'll have the links in the description box below. And all of you, have a great day.